Kick it off.
Awesome. Jai Jinendra, everyone. Welcome to this special Father's Day June monthly meeting for Jscnc. I'm not going to repeat all the rules, that we usually mention, but this is a special session. It's going to be interactive. So make sure you can keep your cameras on. I think that'll help you get the best out of the session. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to our Jscnc president, Mr. Anand Shah, to kick us off. Over to you, Anand bhai.
Thank you, Ketan. Once again, welcome to Father's Day meeting. We're halfway in the year for 2021. It's been a great year, a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, obviously, despite the pandemic setting. Things are starting to feel a little bit normal. So with, kind of that in mind, we, within the committee, we decided to have a different take on our regular Jain meeting format. So we have an excellent kind of a connected theme today. We're going to start off with Mind-Body Connection by Jyotiben Shah. And then we are going to have a discourse, a wonderful session led by Parul Ben Karod. And I'll have a few announcements after that, and then we'll have Purvi kind of help us coordinate the Father's Day session by the children. So, let me just first ask Mayurbhai Lodaya to start us off by reciting Naukar Mantra and Mangalacharan. Mayurbhai, over to you.
Sure. Jai Jinendra Bada and happy Father's Day to not just all the fathers, but all the families that are on the call. Om Namo Arihantanam Om Namo Chitanam Om Namo Arihanam Om Namo Vachayanam Savasahunam Eso Panchanam Karo Sava Pava Panasano Mangalanam Cha Savesim Padamam Havai Mangalam Padamam Havai Mangalam Chattari Mangalam Arihanta Mangalam Siddha Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Kevali Pannato Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Loguttama Arihanta Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevali Pannato Dhammo Loguttamo Chattari Sharanam Pavajjami Arihante Sharanam Pavajjami Siddhe Sharanam Pavajjami Sahu Sharanam Pavajjami Kevali Pannatam Dhammam Sharanam Pavajjami Samaro mantra bhalo navakare che chauda purav no sara ina mahimano nahi pare no artha anantaya par dukhma samaro Samaro divasan raat, divata samaro marata samaro, samaro sau sangat samaro, mantra bhalo navakare che chauda puravano sa. Yogi samare, bhogi samare, સમરે રાજા રંગ, એવો સમરે દાનવ સમરે, સમરે સૌની શંખ સમરો. ત્રભલો નવકાર એ છે 14 પુરવનો સાર. 68 અક્ષર એ ના જાણો, 68 તીરથ સાર. 8 સંપ્રદાથી પરમાણુ, 8 સિદ્ધિ દાતાર સમરો. મંત્ર ભલો નવકાર એ છે 14 પુરવનો સાર. નવ પદ એ ના નવ નિધિ આપે, ભવ ભવના દુઃખ કાપે. વીર વચનથી હૃદયે સ્થાપે, પરમાત્મ પદ આપે સમરો. મંત્ર ભલો નવકાર એ છે પુરવનો સાર. એના મહિમાનો નહીં પાર, એનો અર્થ અનંત. મૈત્રી ભાવનું પવિત્ર ઝરણું, મુજ હૈયામાં વહ્યા કરે. શુભ થાઓ આ સકલ વિશ્વ, એવી ભાવના નિત્ય રહે. એવી ભાવના નિત્ય રહે. ગુણથી ભરેલા ગુણીજન દેખી, હૈયું મારું નૃત્ય કરે. એ સંતોના ચરણ કમલ, જીવનનું અર્ધ્ય રહે. દીન ક્રૂર ને ધર્મ વિહોણા, દેખી દિલમાં દર્દ રહે. કરુણા ભીની આંખોમાંથી, અશ્રુનો શુભ સ્ત્રોત વહે. માર્ગ ભૂલેલા જીવન પથિકને, માર્ગ ચીંધવા ઉભો રહું. કરે ઉપેક્ષા એ માર્ગની, તોય સમતા ચિત્ત ધરું. તોય સમતા ચિત્ત ધરું. ચંદ્ર પ્રભુની ધર્મ ભાવના, એ સહુ માનવ લાવે. વેર ઝેર ના પાપ તજીને, મંગલ ગીતો એ ગાવે. પ્રભુ મંગલ ગીતો એ ગાવે. મૈત્રી ભાવનું પવિત્ર ઝરણું, મુજ હૈયામાં વહ્યા કરે. શુભ થાઓ આ સકલ વિશ્વનું, એવી ભાવના નિત્ય રહે. એવી ભાવનાની. બહુ પુણ્ય કેરા પુંજથી, શુભ દેહ માનવ નો મળ્યો તો એ અરે. ભવ ચક્રનો આટો નહીં કે કર્યો. સુખ પ્રાપ્ત કરતા સુખ ટળે છે. દેશ એ લક્ષે લહો, ક્ષણ ક્ષણ ભયંકર ભાવ મરણે. કા અહો રાચી રહો, લક્ષ્મી અને અધિકાર વધતા શું વધ્યું તે તો કહો, શું કુટુંબ કે પરિવારથી વધવા પણું એ નય ગ્રહો, વધવા પણું સંસારનું ન દેહને હારી જવો એનો વિચાર નહીં અહો, એક પળ તમને હવો નિર્દોષ સુખ નિર્દોષ આનંદ લ્યો ગમે ત્યાંથી ભલે એ દિવ્ય શક્તિમાન જેથી જંજીરેથી નીકળે પર વસ્તુમાં નહીં મૂંઝવું એની દયા મુજને રહી કે ત્યાગવા સિદ્ધાંત કે પશ્ચાત દુઃખ તે સુખ નહીં, હું કોણ છું ક્યાંથી થયો શું સ્વરૂપ છે મારું ખરું, કોના સંબંધે વળગણા છે રાખું કે એ પર હરું, એના વિચાર વિવેક પૂર્વક ભાવે જો કર્યા તો સર્વયાત્મિક જ્ઞાનના સિદ્ધાંત તત્વ અનુ તે પ્રાપ્ત કરવા વચન કોનું સત્ય કેવલ માનવું, નિર્દોષ નરનું કથન માનો દેહ જેણે અનુભવ્યું, રે આત્મ તારો શીઘ્ર એને ઓળખો, સર્વાત્મમાં સમદ્રષ્ટિ ધ્યોવા વચનને હૃદયે લખો, સર્વાત્મમાં સમદ્રષ્ટિ ધ્યોવા વચનને હૃદયે લખો. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayurbhai. We're going to begin today's session with a wonderful segment that has been planned by Jyotisha. The topic is mind-body connection. Before she gets started, just a few quick reminders. Make sure you're sitting on a chair, preferably without arms. Yoga is, all about posture. So make sure if you are sitting in a chair without arms. And also, she's got a nice interactive session today. So make sure you bring a paper plate. If you don't have it, you may want to go get it right now and get started, or ask someone from the family to get it for you. So Jyoti is an accomplished and a professional yoga teacher. I think she doesn't need an introduction, but in case anyone who doesn't know her background fully, she has over 15 years of teaching experience, mindfulness meditation teacher under the mentorship and guidance of Jack Kornfield and Tara Barch. Jyoti's style of yoga teaching is a combination of Kripalu and the living tradition of the Himalayan Institute. Her teaching encompasses the classical asanas, pranayam breath awareness and breath training, asanas and mindful movements, systematic relaxation to access a state of deep inner awareness as preparation for meditative practice and mindful meditation. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Jyoti Shah to get our first segment started. Over to you, Jyoti.
Thanks, Anand. That was a beautiful introduction, which I did. So thank you so much. Thanks, committee, for inviting me for this special session today. And special day, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads in this group. And Jai Janendra to everyone. So if you are sitting having a chair, it will be really helpful instead of sitting on a couch or a sofa. So you have still maybe a minute to go and grab a chair if that's convenient for you. And also a paper plate. And I would ask everyone to switch on their cameras. So please switch on your cameras, have a paper plate, and you won't be judged. Small paper plate or big paper plate, you won't be judged. So go ahead, grab it. 30-40 seconds more left before we begin. And for those who are all ready, take some time, take a moment here, sitting in your chair. Close your eyes. We had an excellent, through Stavan, we had an excellent centering. So that was much needed for all of us. So we'll go straight into the practice. So today's practice is, again, all the asana practice and yoga is all about mind-body connection. And this, I wanted to emphasize this because today having a prop helps to bring that connection. And you will notice in today's practice how it helps. And that connection happens not just through the prop, but through the breath. But then the coordination, the plate, the prop helps with the coordination. And you will notice it, you will feel it, and you will experience that today. So with that said, I just see a few cameras on. So switch on your cameras if you have not done that still. And I hope everyone can hear me. So having your paper plates, put it on your lap, and I'm going to make sure that you all can see me. Resting on your lap, holding it, take maybe 3 breaths here. When you take your 3 breaths, you want to just bring your overall awareness towards your posture, that your feet are rooted down into the floor. Your sitting bones are rooted down onto the seat of the chair, and your spine is nice, tall, lengthened, erect, keeping your head and neck in line with your spine. One more breath here. And before we start to do the practice, also always listen to your body. Go as per your own pace and rhythm of your own breath. So just be keeping those things in mind. So with that said, let's start with our lifting our arms up. So I'm holding my plate in my right hand, lifting my arms up and coming down. My plate still stays in my right hand. Lifting your arms up and down. Now I'm going to change so that my plate is on the other hand. Now one more time, I'm switching it in my right hand, but now we'll coordinate our breath with it and we'll see how that goes. So breathing in, lifting my arms up, switching the plate onto my other hand, breathing out, coming down. One more time, breathing in, switching the plate, switching up again and breathing out, coming down. Alternate, now the other side, my plate is on the other side, breathing in, breathing out, coming down. One more, starting the plate on the other side and coming down. Now again, it goes in my right hand, but now we'll be bringing our eye coordination with it. So breathing in, as I'm lifting my arms, I'm looking at my hand where the plate is. And then as I'm switching my hand, the plate, wherever your plate is, you want to gaze towards that. So breathing in, halfway up, breathing out, switching the plate, coming down. Now onto the other side. So breathing in, my plate is on the other hand, starting with breathing out, coming down. Breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, coming down. Good. Now from here, out to the side. So breathing in, both my arms are going out to the side. My plate is on my right hand. Breathing out to the center, switching the side. Breathing in, arms out to the side. Breathing out to the center, switching the plate. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now let's have the eye coordination. So breathing in, my plate is on my right hand. I'm looking at my plate. As far as I can take my plate back, my gaze is towards my plate. Breathing out, come to the center. Breathing in, switching the sides, onto the other side. Breathing out to the center. Breathing in to the center. Breathing in. Breathing out to the center. And then resting your plate down on your lap. From here, keep your plate here. Bring your hands the area below your navel. And now from here, your middle fingers are touching each other in the center where your hands are below your navel. Breathe in and notice how the hands are separating and the middle fingers are not touching anymore. Breathing out, again, the middle finger is touching. So bring your awareness towards that lower abdomen as you're breathing in and breathing out. 2 more rounds. Breathing in, breathing out, middle finger is touching each other in the center. And feel that tightness in your lower abdominals. Breathing in, expansion in your abdomen. Breathing out, middle finger comes and touches each other. Now from here, keep your plate in one hand and your hands on the chair. And pushing your hands down into the chair, just slightly lift up. And then come down. So now breathing in, length through your spine. Breathing out, lean forward. And then breathing in, lift up. Breathing out, come down. Breathing in, go back to your place. Again, breathing in, lengthen through your spine. Breathing out, lean forward, feel that tightness in your lower abdomen. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, coming down, and then relax. Now, you can put the plate on the side or maybe just lift it in your hands. We are not holding the chair, now we are holding the plate in our hands. Same thing, without taking the help of the chair to push you down and lift you up. Breathing in, length through your spine. Breathing out, lean forward. Breathe in and now lift up. Breathe out, go down and breathe in. How challenging is that? Breathing in, lift up through your spine. Breathing out, leaning forward. Not yet getting up, not yet getting up. And now breathing in, lifting up. Stay here for 2 breaths. Breathe out here, breathe in here. Breathe out, breathe in, still up. 1 more breath. And then on your next inhalation, come back down and relax. What did you notice here? Difference when we press our hand down and lift up, how easy it is. Without our hands, what we are doing, we are using our core muscles here and doing the work. Okay, we'll do it again 1 more time. So now, next one we'll do is bring your plate in front, stretch your arms. And now breathing in or breathing out, go as per your own rhythm. What I'm doing is I'm swinging my arm back as far as I can, lift my arm and then bring it back to the center. Switching the hands, both the arms goes, but you're switching the plate alternatingly. Breathing out, leaning forward. Breathing in, forward. Breathing out again, leaning forward. We'll do 2 more rounds. One more. Nice. And then again, bring your hands on your lap with the plate on. Now we'll start with our right foot. So keep your plate slightly lifted up, and you want to bring your leg touching the plate. So lifting my leg up and bringing my foot down, the same side. Without lifting your other hip off the chair, just lift your right knee up, touching the chair. Now we'll switch on to the other side. Make sure that your other hip does not lift up. So you're not leaning onto the side and doing this. And one more. Now we'll do alternate. Keeping your spine lengthened, nice, tall. Observe your breath. One more. Nice. And then again, bring your hands down. Now from here, bring your plate behind you, in between yourself and the chair, and bring it to the center. So sitting nice, tall, don't lean forward. Come towards the front edge of the chair. That way your spine is lengthened. You're not bending forward or rounding your back. Now alternate on the other side. And one more. Now under the legs. In this, you are slightly leaning forward. Now alternate to the other hand. Now, again here, toe behind you and then under your legs. Behind you, under the legs. Behind you, under the legs. Now alternate under the legs from the other hand and behind you. Under your legs, behind you. Nice. Take a resting breath and just observe what are those sensations you are feeling in your body. Tingliness, vibrations, just observe your breath. And now widen your legs, wider apart, sitting towards the front edge of the chair. Now from here, imagine figure 8 or maybe infinity. Bring your plate under one side, lift up, and to the other side. Number 8, imagine infinity. Now, opposite direction. See how your mind works? Is there a hesitation to change and have yourself coordinated? One more. Woohoo! Nice. Come back again. Now, from here, bring your plate in front. So now you're stretching your plate, lengthening your arms, and your plate is away from you. And then bring it closer to you over your chest and lift your spine up, lift up your chest. So breathing out, plate is away from you, tighten your arms, lengthen your arms. Breathing in, lift up through your chest. Your spine is arched. Breathing out, your spine is rounded. Breathing in, arched. One more time, breathing out and breathing in. And then bring your plate down. And now, bring your plate in front one more time. Again, we'll do standing up. Pressing down through your feet. Breathing in through your up to your spine to the top of your head. Breathing out, leaning forward, not lifting up from the chair yet. Now press through your feet in, breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, come down. Breathe in, straighten your spine. Breathing out, lengthen, and then breathing out, leaning forward. Breathing in, pressing through your feet. Breathing out, coming down. Now you feel the difference, and now it has become a little more easier than what you did before. You feel the difference slightly? Good. Now we are going to stay there for more breaths. So at least 5 to 7 breaths. So breathe in through your spine, lengthen through your spine, breathing out, leaning forward. Breathing in, lift up. Stay here. Count 5 to 7 breaths. Pressing down through your feet. Stay off the chair. 5 to 7 complete breaths. I know my head is cutting off, but hopefully you can all do it. And while you are in this, again, notice what are the sensations you are feeling. Maybe your thighs are shaking, legs are shaking. You want to breathe faster. Notice those things. But see if you can stay. I said 5 to 7, but now stay 3 more breaths, more. And with those sensations. And then slowly breathing out, coming down, breathe in, lean back slightly. And again, observe, notice, close your eyes and feel what you feel. Feel your breath. Your heart is pounding right now. Maybe you are sweating also. Two more breaths here. And now you can let go of the plate. Relax your arms on your thighs, palms facing down. Bringing your focus towards your breath. And now I'll point you different points of your body. You want to bring your breath and the awareness together at the same time to all those different points. So making sure that you are still sitting nice, tall, erect. Your arms are relaxed, shoulders are away from your ears. Bring your breath and the awareness towards the center of your forehead. Nose, mouth, throat, shoulders, elbows, wrist, tips of all your fingers, wrist, elbows, shoulders, chest, abdomen, hips, knees, ankles, toes, back to ankles, knees, hips, back of your body towards your buttocks, lower back, middle back, upper back, back of your neck, back of your head, top of your head. On your next exhalation, you are breathing out from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. Breathing in from the tips of your toes up to the top of your head. You are breathing as if your whole body is breathing with you. Sweeping your breath from the top of the head down to your toes. Breathing in from toes to top of your head. Breathe like that for another 5 full breaths. Sweeping your breath and awareness throughout the entire body at the same time. To end our today's session, bring both your palms together and rubbing your palms. And cupping your palms onto your closed eyes. Open your eyes into your warm palms, blinking a few times. One more time, close your eyes and gently with your palms, press your eyes and eyebrows and forehead. Keep your eyes still closed as you rub your palm onto your face, onto your cheeks, front of the ears, back of the ears, down to the back of the neck, and towards the top of your shoulders. And then bringing both your palms together towards the center of your heart. Bowing down to yourself and acknowledging for practicing together. Jai Jinendra, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the practice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a great session. It reminds me, how hard it is to have your mind focus, even for simple movements. Like even when you did the 8,
Yes.
going in the opposite direction, the mind still wanted to follow the previous pattern of 8. So it was a great session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay. So, everyone, please give a round of applause to Jyoti Ben for such a wonderful session today. All right. So we will now move to our next equally interesting session. So we have among us Parul Khan. Today's topic she's going to be discussing with us is nutrition for healthy aging. I think you all probably saw in the newsletter, right? We're all getting older. That's the topic. And as we age, our nutritional needs also change. How do we stay healthy as we get older? What is the right diet? We will discuss foods to eat, foods to avoid, and lifestyle changes that help with overall health. So for those of you who don't know her, I was introduced to Parul Ben, again, thanks to Kamlesh Bhai and Jyoti Bhavi, few years back when she visited us at our annual Jain camp. And when I listened to her, there was like her approach to the way we treat diet and the lifestyle. It struck a chord with me because the way she explained even the simplest topics, or debunk some of our common myths, like just always eating dishes that are typically made out of wheat, like apne nanpan ma, and everybody says rotli khao, bakri khao. And even I remember even a simple myth like that, she had a very nice approach to explain some of our common approaches and how we should think about it. So I figured she would be a great person to come back to us and address. Of course, this would have been great if we were in person, but through the medium of this virtual WebEx, I think we can take advantage of her knowledge and some of the topics that she had covered in past. So Parul Ben is MS, RD, LDN. She's a registered dietitian and licensed nutritionist. She has a bachelor's of science degree in food and nutrition and a master's of science in dietetics. She's earned certificate of training in food allergies and intolerances, and a certificate of training in vegetarian nutrition from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. She works at the Wakemare Hospital as a clinical outpatient dietitian, and she has also recently started her own private practice. Her mission is to help achieve overall health for the body and mind with a no diet approach, right? So, diets are just as they come and go. So she has a unique approach to that. She assists people in making practical and balanced lifestyle changes, individualized and personalized nutrition counseling, and can help you whether you currently have a diagnosed nutrition or medical condition, or you just want to take preventative measures and improve your overall quality of life. So with that, I would like to invite Parul Ben to lead us for the next for the session. Over to you, Parul Ben.
Thank you, Anand Bhai, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you, Jyoti, for that, again, wonderful yoga session. I'm sure it awakened everybody. So now everybody is able to kind of channel their energy and focus as to what we are going to talk about. That was a very relaxing session for me as well. So thank you, Jyoti, for doing that. And thank you again to the committee for inviting me for this presentation. So I am going to share my screen with my PowerPoint. All right. Can everybody see this?
Yes, we can see the, yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
Parul Ben, sorry, one quick thing.
Sure.
Do you want to have people hold the questions till the end? How do you prefer?
I think that would be a good idea. So I mean, in case you feel like you are going to forget your question, maybe just type it in the chat, because as I'm talking, if questions come up, then if you want to just type your questions in the chat, then I can go through them at the end. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So today we are going to talk about healthy aging. And again, when we use the term aging, people always think of, older, adults or seniors, as we call them. But we are all aging, right? From the minute we are born, we start aging. So the aging process is about, advancing in the years, whether currently you are 25 or 65, doesn't really matter, because all of us are aging. So what we want to do is that we want to, first of all, when we talk about, healthy, how do we get healthy, right? So before we talk about how do we get healthy, we want to kind of define what is healthy and what is unhealthy. Because again, people have a lot of misconceptions about this terms. So as you can see in this chart, and for those of you who are, if you can keep your view to the speaker view, then you'll be able to see the slides in a much better way. But anyway, so when we talk about unhealthy lifestyle, the one thing to always remember is that we have only one body, right? We have only one single body. Everything is connected from the inside. So for, let's say, one person may have diabetes, one person may have high blood pressure, one person may have, something else, but these are all connected. These are all connected. So when you have one thing, you are more prone to having something else. So that's something to keep in mind, that you may feel that, oh, I don't have diabetes, so it's okay if I eat sweets all the time because I don't have diabetes. But so yes, you may not have diabetes and your insulin may be working correctly. Great. But then that does not mean that whatever you do, those unhealthy lifestyle practices, it's not causing something else, right? Because like I said, everything is connected. So that is something to always keep in mind, that whether it is your physical, lifestyle, or mental stress or any other unhealthy behaviors, such as excess alcohol, smoking, things like that, it is all going to affect your body, and it is all going to cause some of these, diseases and disorders. So this was about what is unhealthy. Now let's define health. What is health? So this is the definition that was created by the World Health Organization, that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So just because you do not have any kind of diagnosed diseases does not automatically mean that you are healthy. Health is a state of not only physical, but also mental and also social well-being. And this we also know from Ayurveda. So in Ayurveda, in one of our Vedas, this Sushrut Samhita, in there is this shlok in Sanskrit. It's called Samadoshaha Samagnischa Samadhatu Malakriyaha Prasannatmedriya Yamana Swasta Itya Midhiyate. So what this means is that balanced energies, balanced state of fire inside our stomach, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So balanced energies, balanced state of fire, balanced tissues and excretions, peace of soul, senses, and mind. This is called health. So whether we talk about Western medicine, like the definition from the World Health Organization, or whether we talk about our own, Ayurvedic principles, this sense of health is, again, mind, body, and soul, right? So it all has to be balanced. So we will talk about today these 10 tips for healthy aging. So we'll go through each of these individually. So number one is eat right. And because I'm a dietitian, I'm going to focus most of my presentation on this food part, eat right. But then there are these other 9 steps as well. So let's start with the food part. So the first question is, why do we eat? And this is a question. So if think about it, we'll get to the answer towards the end of the nutrition part. But yeah, why do we eat? So always keep that in mind, and we'll get some answers to that question. So did you know that we have a second brain? So we have one brain in the head. That's part of what is known as our central nervous system. And then we have another brain in our gut. That is known as the enteric nervous system, E-N-T-E-R-I-C, enteric. And enterals means intestines. So we have 2 brains actually. And so the gut brain, or the brain that sits inside of our gut, the lining of our intestines and stomach, that is known as our second brain. And both of these brains, they talk to each other. So the brain and the gut, they talk to each other through this nerve. It's called the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is literally, think about it like a USB wire. One end plugs into the gut, the other end plugs into the brain, and information through neurochemicals is flowing both ways, right? That's why we have phrases like gut instinct, right? So you think you make a decision through your gut instinct. Or let's say when you are feeling nervous, right? Those are brain sensations. You are feeling nervous. We say I have butterflies in my stomach, right? So that's how we know that a lot of these sensations, or a lot of these phrases are not just sayings that actually is true. So your brain and your gut are constantly talking to each other. So in a normal gut, we are supposed to have 1 trillion different microorganisms. We use the word gut bacteria, but for those of you who are into science, especially microbiology, you know that it's not just bacteria. There are viruses and fungi and parasites and all kinds of different microorganisms. But for the ease of it, or for the simplicity of it, we just use the word gut bacteria. So we are supposed to have 1 trillion different species living inside our gut. And actually, we are supposed to have more gut microbes than cells inside our body. Okay. So your gut microbiome is actually as unique to you as your fingerprint. So each person's gut biome is uniquely different. So this is kind of like the blueprint of your health. Your health depends upon how diverse and how healthy your gut microbiome is. So the foods that you eat, the right foods that you eat will give you the energy to sustain life, and the wrong foods can actually cause what we call dysbiosis, where you have more bad bacteria than good bacteria. Okay. So this also, again, we know from Sanskrit as well. So Hippocrates, who is considered to be the father of modern medicine, in 4th century BC, he put out this statement called "all disease begins in the gut." And the same thing we know from Sanskrit as well, right? So in Sanskrit, or Ayurveda, in Ayurveda, we know that we talk about this Agni in the stomach. So not only in the stomach, but the Agni is present in a lot of different points throughout the body. But especially the Agni that is in the stomach is known as Jaఠragni. So Jatha is the stomach in Ayurveda. And so we know that when you have an active fire that digests the food, then you have a healthy body. And when you don't have that, when your Agni is not working correctly, then you will have disease. So the gut bacteria in the body affects not only your physical health, but also your mental health. So as you can see in this poster on the right, mental issues such as anxiety, depression, Parkinson's, autism, schizophrenia, and then physical diseases such as chronic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, cancer, and then inflammatory diseases such as Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, arthritis, food intolerances and allergies, especially like irritable bowel syndrome. Each and everything, whether it is physical or mental, is connected to how effective your gut microbiome is. So the National Institutes of Health actually studied this, and they created a 7 to 10 year human microbiome project from the years, if I remember correctly, 2007 to 2014. And after that, they did something called gene mapping. So where they actually mapped out all the genes of the microbiome. So not only, and what they discovered is that, we have the genes in our DNA, but the microbes that live inside our gut, they have their own DNA, they have their own genes. And that was kind of like a huge discovery that led to all kinds of different researches that are still ongoing. So we are, like this article in the New Yorker says, germs are us. What we are, and that's why, when we say a phrase like "we are what we eat," that's where this is kind of, validated, that yes, we are what we eat, because what we eat is taken by these germs, and then that the germs are what process our food, digestion, absorption, and then help create our cells. So that's how the food becomes us, basically. So this is what I referred to earlier, dysbiosis. So the word dysbiosis is that you are missing the healthier microbes and you have more bad microbes than good microbes. So bad, more bad bacteria than good bacteria. And these are some of the influencers. So our microbiome, rather, as it is known as, the whole environment inside, is actually determined even before our birth. So even before our birth, the diet of the mother, and then the birth process, whether it was a natural process or whether it was a C-section, and then whether the baby was breastfed versus formula fed, whether what kind of diet the baby ate as a child, whether it was really good homemade food or whether it was a lot of the packaged processed foods. So our gut microbes are constantly changing, right from the minute we are born. But then there are other influencers, meaning medications. Are you taking a lot of antibiotics? Or even as a child, like did you have a lot of ear infections and things like that where you needed a lot of antibiotics? Are you having a lot of anti-reflux medications, what are known as PPIs? A lot of these, antacids and things like that, that can kill the gut bacteria. Any other kind of toxins, pesticides, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, artificial chemicals, preservatives. So these are toxins. Alcohol, stress, hyper hygienic lifestyle. So I know in the COVID era, it's kind of a necessity, but in general, when years ago they came out with everything antibacterial hand soap, antibacterial dishwasher soap, antibacterial laundry detergent, do we really need to kill all the gut bacteria, right? And that's why in the beginning, of course, the whole unfortunately, the way COVID management was handled in India is really, really sad. But in the beginning, when the COVID outbreak happened everywhere, India was not as affected. And in fact, people were saying that actually that's because people in India have a naturally stronger immune system because they are exposed to all these diverse microbes. So that was considered to be a plus point. Unfortunately, the management of it, and that's that's a whole other story. But yeah, the more diverse microbes you have or you interact with, the better for you. Okay, and when you have this dysbiosis, it can lead to food intolerances and allergies. It can lead to inflammation. It can lead to immune diseases. So keeping in mind this food-brain connection is that what you eat can have a powerful effect on your energy, your physical energy, as well as your mood. And the best way to manage your energy, mood, and hunger is to eat foods that fill you up, choose foods that provide sustainable energy, and eat foods that are what we call nutrient dense. So we'll go a little bit more in detail of what that means. So coming back to the question of why do we eat? Of course, we eat to get energy. We eat to get the nutrients that build our bones and tissues and cells and muscles. But the most important reason we eat is to feed the probiotic microorganisms that live in the gut. Okay? So these probiotic microorganisms, they are alive. They are living creatures and they need to be fed. And that's why the food we eat is the fuel for the probiotic microorganisms. So whenever you are eating, always keep that in mind, that you are eating not because you want to eat, but you are eating, the primary purpose of eating is to feed the gut bacteria. So the gut bacteria, they need only one thing, right? Of course, we need for energy and mood and things like that, we need protein and carbohydrates and all these other vitamins and minerals and things like that. But the probiotic bacteria, they need only one thing, which is fiber. And when I say fiber, I'm not talking about Metamucil or Isabgol or Fiber One bars or Raisin Bran cereal. I'm not talking about any of that. Fiber coming from real food. So fiber makes happy gut bacteria. So we need to eat foods that nourish us. So what are those? Whole grains, intact whole grains, not only just, loaf made from whole wheat, but the actual grains. So again, diversity is the key for everything. So the more variety you eat, the better for you. And just referring back to what Anand bhai mentioned about the previous talk we had given, I just want to emphasize that I'm not saying that wheat is bad, but what happens is that when we, in a normal day-to-day basis, we often do not have that diversity. So when we have breakfast is khakro, and then lunch is rotli, and then, snack might be a biscuit or something else, and then again, dinner is again, bhakri or rotli. So in the whole day, we are only eating wheat, right? We are only eating gauni vastuo, but we are not eating anything else. So that's where this variety is important. So it could be wheat, it could be fada, for example, but then also include other grains, and the other grains can be, bajri, jowar, any other variety of millet like ragi. And then here, there are even more varieties available, like you could have, oats or quinoa or buckwheat or any so there are so many varieties of whole grains. So make sure that you have that variety, and make sure that you include more whole grains than load. Okay, so whole grains are important because they are not only rich in the complex carbohydrates and proteins, but they also give us micronutrients, minerals such as magnesium, tryptophan, fiber. So these are these other micronutrients that are present in grains. Then again, beans, pulses, legumes. So again, with a typical Gujarati, meal, we may either just eat too much tuveri dal, right? Or we may eat, maybe one or two other things, maybe like magni dal or mag, but we are limited to like just 2 or 3 varieties, right? So there again, we want as much variety as possible. So all kinds of beans and pulses, whole or in form of a dal. But beans and pulses are very, very healthy because they have complex carbohydrates, they have protein, they have minerals such as iron, phosphorus, manganese, magnesium, calcium. Again, there is a myth that calcium is only present in dairy foods, right? But all the white colored beans, whether it is chole, chana, basically all white colored beans, chola, so all the white colored beans have calcium in it. And then they also have the B vitamins and of course fiber. The largest portion of fiber is present in beans and pulses. Sprouting, if you can do that, that would be great. So I know in some, strict Jain practices, sprouting is not allowed. But if you are allowed to do that, and if you are open to that, then sprouting the beans actually makes them much easier to digest. And also the nutrient content is concentrated. So if you are allowed and if you can do that, then definitely sprout beans. And then healthy fats. So what we want to do is that we want to cut out unhealthy fats and we want to add healthy fats, because these foods, the nuts and seeds, they not only have the healthy fats, but they also have minerals such as zinc and magnesium. And they also have what we call the omega-3 fats. So the omega-3 fats are helpful in reducing triglycerides. So that is one thing to remember, because all of our, Indian population, we are at an increased risk of heart disease and diabetes because we have a tendency to have higher triglycerides. So triglycerides you can lower by including foods such as ground flax seeds and chia seeds, walnuts, and avocado. Okay. Flax seeds, I will just mention કે મોટાભાગના લોકો flax seeds ખોટી રીતે ખાતા હોય છે. મોટાભાગના લોકો they roast the flax seeds, શેકી અને પછી મુખવાસ તરીકે ખાતા હોય છે. So that is actually not good. Flax is not supposed to be heated, so please એને શેકતા નહીં કે રોટલીના લોટમાં ના નાખતા. Flax is not supposed to be heated. It's supposed to be eaten raw, and our body cannot digest whole flax seeds. એટલે તમે આખા flax seeds ખાઓ તો it's not doing anything. It has to be powdered. So powder the flax seeds and 1 tablespoon per day just raw powder. You can mix it into anything you are eating. So તમે સમજો કે oatmeal બનાવ્યું હોય તો just ખાતી વખતે, when you serve yourself, બાલમાં you can sprinkle that one tablespoon of flax seeds. અથવા તો તમે જે ખાતા હો તે શાકની અંદર મિક્સ કરી શકો કે ભાતની અંદર મિક્સ કરી શકો, પણ just 1 tablespoon raw flax seeds. If you are really having higher triglycerides, you can increase to 2 tablespoons per day. But like I said, just raw powder. Then we want to make sure we are eating a rainbow. So put color on your plate, because every color has a different set of nutrients. So the green color is chlorophyll, and all the green colored fruits and vegetables. They help lower risk of cancer, help with vision, and help strong bones and teeth. All the green vegetables also have calcium, especially broccoli, green leafy vegetables such as kale, collard greens, mustard greens, which is known as sarson. So you can have saag, not from the restaurant, which is full of cream and but homemade. Other really good vegetable from the Asian set, which is very high in calcium, is bok choy. So I don't know if you've eaten bok choy, but bok choy is very high in calcium. So you can make kind of like a stir fry with it. Orange color are carotenoids. Those are the antioxidants that are good for your heart, good for vision, very good for liver as well. All the yellow colored fruits and vegetables are very good for your liver and building healthy immune system, lowering risk of cancers. Reds are lycopenes and also to some degree anthocyanins. These are the antioxidants that are present in red fruits and vegetables. Purple are also anthocyanins, anthocyanthins. So these are also very, very healthy. And then white is also a color. So especially white colored vegetables such as cauliflower and the root vegetables, ginger, garlic, if you eat them, because these are also have been proven to help lower cholesterol. So basically, like I said, is when we eat, we are eating to support a healthy gut, support a healthy microbiome inside of our gut. So we have the prebiotic fibers. So all the fiber-rich foods are actually known as prebiotics. So we get the prebiotic fibers from the whole grains, the beans, peas, lentils, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So these are all the foods that give us fiber, the prebiotic fiber. And then we want the probiotics from fermented foods. So in the here in the West, we get fermented foods such as sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, but we can also get it from any of our traditional ethnic fermented foods, such as pickles. And when I say pickles, I'm talking about fresh pickles, not pela bar mahinana tel bharela athana, not like that, but fresh pickles. So you make them with especially the methi, રાઈ મેથી નાખીને આપણા ગાજર કે મરચા કર્યા હોય અને you just do that, soak it for a couple of days and then eat it fresh, right? So એવા fresh અથાણા. And then also fermented foods such as dhokla, idli, dosa. So anything that ferments will give that probiotic bacteria. And also dahi, any kind of yogurt. So that is also, that has probiotics. So try to get it from food as much as possible. I don't recommend too many supplements. So try to get these probiotics and prebiotics as much as you can from the foods. So we want to make sure that you are eating balanced meals at regular intervals. So this is ideally how a plate should look. Half your plate should be vegetables. So that could be a shak and a salad, or the whole thing could be a salad, or the whole thing could be like a vegetable soup, but a variety of vegetables. So eat a rainbow, right? We went through all the different colors. So eat a rainbow as much as possible. And then for a vegetarian meal, you get protein from all the different, beans and pulses. You can include tofu as well if you want instead of paneer. Tofu is a much better choice. And then any kind of grains, right? It could be rotli or bhakri, but not every day if possible. Include the intact whole grains as much as possible. If you want to do pasta, that's perfectly fine too, but choose like a multi-grain, whole grain pasta. So as much intact grains as possible. Normally what happens is that, we think of shak as a side dish. So we have a larger portion of the rotli and bhat, and shak is much smaller, right? So we want to change that where the largest portion of food on the plate is coming from the vegetables. And fruit, what I generally recommend is eat fruit as part of your breakfast, or if you need an afternoon snack, then eat a fruit in the afternoon. So fruit is breakfast and snack in the afternoon, and lunch and dinner is basically vegetables. Okay. Excuse me. So this is a plate that is, excuse me, just a second. Sorry about that. So this is a plate that was created by the Canada Canada Nutrition Association. And this is much better than the plate that was created by the USDA, which is the United States. So I like the Canada plate better because, as you can see, that same principle, half your plate is fruits and vegetables. Although, like I said, I like to keep the fruits separate. But then you have choices of protein. And of course, I mean, this is a Western kind plate. So they do have some animal protein in there. But compared to the US plate, which has just a big hunk of meat on the center, the US plate, I mean, the Canada plate gives you the choices. It also has beans and nuts and tofu on the plate, right? And then the variety of grains. So a lot more whole grains than the bread or the pasta. So this is again from the Canada plate. It says be mindful of eating habits, cook more often, so limit eating out, enjoy your food. And this is again from the Ayurvedic perspective also, this is really, really important. Enjoy what you eat. Do not think of food as a diet. Do not have guilt associated with food. And then eat meals with others, which of course in COVID has not been possible too much, but as much as possible, at least with your family. So eat meals with others. And then use food labels, not to read numbers, not to just read numbers, but use labels to read ingredients. And the shorter the ingredient list, the better the food. Okay. So for example, if you are buying a jar of peanut butter, then the ingredient on there should be peanuts. That's it. Shouldn't have anything else in it, right? So anything you buy that has a long paragraph full of ingredients, don't buy that. And be very aware of food marketing. And then the last thing on the food part is rethink your drink. Make sure that you are drinking water as much as possible, because water is what our cells are made up of. And that is basically what we need. So really, really cut out all other beverages, including the diet beverages. And this is especially true if you have younger kids. Juice boxes, Capri Sun, fruit punches, things like that. Really, really, please cut them out. Even Gatorade. It's all a whole bunch of marketing. And the saddest part is that all of these kids' beverages have so much artificial colors, which are linked to attention deficit and lack of focus and things like that. So we really want to cut out any products that have these artificial colors. Okay. So the summary for the diet part, the first part, eat right. How do we eat right? We avoid things that cause harm and cause disease. And then we eat a diet that promotes overall health. So one size does not fit all. Each person is different. Like I said, you have your own unique microbiome. So your diet depends on your personal, medical, and family history, right? And from Ayurvedic perspective also, as they say, each person's dosha is different. So you want to make sure that what you eat is good for you, right? So just because one person did some kind of diet and lost 20 pounds does not mean that will work for you. Okay, so please do not get into these marketing gimmicks. Please don't do any kind of fad diets. Okay, so that was nutrition. The second part to being, healthy aging is being active. And we already went through a wonderful session with Jyoti. So the key to thinking about exercise is, I read this, I really like this quote, that exercise is a celebration of what your body can do and not a punishment for what you ate. And this is very, very important, especially because this gym culture, a lot of the times when you go to the gyms, they have posters saying that, okay, if you ate 3 donuts, then you need to, walk 5 miles. It doesn't work that way, right? If you walk 5 miles, it's not those 3 donuts that you are going to burn, right? So always keep that in mind, that just because you eat something unhealthy and then you will say that, okay, now is the time, okay, go exercise. It doesn't work that way. So keep exercise and food both as a celebration to the fact that you are alive, the fact that you are living. That is a blessing. So count that as a blessing and celebrate your life with food and exercise. So whatever works for you, if you are not able to stand up for too long because of whatever ailment you might have, do chair exercises. And that's what we did today, right? We did, like a chair exercise. If you are not able to sit for too long, you can do other things, And a couple of weeks ago, Jyoti did a wonderful presentation for another group where 90% of those exercises was just standing. We were just standing the whole time. And it was a wonderful session. So keep in mind that you also need some strength training, so weights, stretching, exercise bands, whatever works for you. But yeah, be active. Basically, make sure that you are not sitting in one place for too long. The third and really, really important one is getting adequate sleep. So we have something called a circadian rhythm. Our body has its own internal clock, and that internal clock is supposed to match with the sunrise and sunset. So for, if you like stay up too late, like past midnight, and if you have really irregular habits, one day you eat, one day you don't eat, one day you eat at 8 o'clock, one day you eat at 10 o'clock, so that is not good. So we want to make sure that we have an established routine. You wake up at the same time, you sleep at the same time. And then keep this schedule of keep these tips for better sleep. So the time you work out, the time you eat, match that rhythm throughout, so basically getting adequate sleep is important. If you need, take a small nap, and that is also recommended from Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, it's called Vamakokshi. I don't know if you're familiar with this word, but my my dad uses that all the time. So after lunch, right? That is the small, short, 20-minute nap. Not a 2-hour nap, but a short 20-minute nap. Sleeping on your left side. That's why it's called Vam. Vam in Sanskrit means left. So after lunch, it would be like, okay, now time for Vam Kukshi. But yeah, it has to be 20 minutes short, not longer than that. And basically you sleep on your left side so that you digest your food. So if you need that, take that. And again, it does not have to be in bed. It could also be on your couch or even just a recliner. So if you need that, take that 20-minute short nap. But otherwise, like keep a routine for waking and sleeping, which is really important. Because now, again, with the research on the gut microbiome, there is so much more information coming out about this circadian rhythm. Number 4, manage stress. You may not even know that you have stress, right? But stress is really, really important to manage because it affects your overall health, and stress creates these chemicals in the body that can cause all kinds of issues. So it can affect your mood, it can affect your memory, it can affect just general aches and pains, it can affect your digestion, it can cause you to gain weight, it can adversely affect your heart, and it can weaken your immune system. So when you have stress, it increases this chemical in the body called cortisol, and cortisol levels can cause all these other issues, right? So it is very, very important to manage stress. You can do that through meditation, you can do that through yoga, you can do that through regular breathing techniques, pranayam, go out for a walk, whatever you need to, but manage that stress. Learn how to manage that. Stress is inevitable. We are all going to have some kind of stressors, right? But so it's impossible not to have stress, but it is important to learn how to manage that stress. The fourth or the fifth point rather to healthy aging is feed your brain. So feeding your brain meaning train your brain to do something different, right? Whether it is your creative brain, working your creating brain with music, with art, knitting, reading, whatever you want to do, you're activating that side of the brain, the creative side of the brain. You can activate your social side of the brain by bonding with your family, using technology, right? In this COVID era, we are doing Zoom meetings, playing chess, checkers, things like that, playing with pets if you have them, problem solving, that is another area of the brain. So crossword puzzles, Sudoku, playing other games. And then if you're by yourself, again, silence, meditation, writing a journal, whatever you can do, but feed all these different areas of the brain. And this has shown to help with preventing your, issues such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, memory loss, things like that. Family relationships, either in person or through Zoom or, whichever way you want, phone calls, WhatsApp, but continue with those relationships. Social connections, like what we are doing now, join a group, learn something as well as teach something, right? Learning and teaching, they both help because they feed different areas of your brain. When you are learning something, you are feeding a different area of your brain. When you are teaching something, you are feeding a different area of your brain. Volunteering is extremely important. Yeah, just stay connected with your family and friends, because that really helps manage your stress. And then practice protection. So check medications, make sure that you are, you talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, making sure that whatever you're taking, you're not overdoing it. Of course, regular exercise so that it helps you balance and, you prevent falling and prevent hip fractures and things like that. Wear the right shoes. And protection meaning that if you are at a stage where you absolutely need a cane or need a walker, then do that. There is no shame in that. So please make sure that you practice protection. And then regular checkups to make sure that, all your numbers are staying within the normal limits. So in case you do need medication, you do take that. So of course, prevention is better than cure, but if you reach a stage where you absolutely need need that medication, then you have to take it. And then take care of yourself. Breathe. Positive thinking, relaxing, forgiveness goes a long way. And of course, I mean, I'm talking to I'm preaching the choir. So like we say, the Michami Dukadam part is not just once a year, but on a day-to-day basis. And so coming back to a summary of all of this is your lifestyle. So stay regular. The more regular you do everything, more regularly you do everything, our body loves a routine. So eating at the same time, sleeping at the same time, all your activities at the same time. So practice that mindfulness, physical activity, and reducing stress. So those are all the key things for your healthy aging. So good nutrition, physical activity, positive thinking, social connections, disease management, and establishing a routine. So just as a kind of like a mindfulness activity, think about all the things that we talked about. And based on what we just learned, what does your daily routine look like? What are the things that you feel like, that you need to change? So just keep that as your own mindfulness activity. You can do that on your own later today. But think about that, like based on everything that we talked about, what are some of the things that you feel that you might need to change? Not as just yourself, but also as a family. Are there some changes that you do need to make as a family? Okay. So that's basically it. And let thy food be thy medicine, be thy medicine be thy food. There are a lot of shlokas, Sanskrit shlokas also, that say the same thing. So that's pretty much it. I'll just end with just some information about if anybody needs a concert, like Anand I mentioned earlier. I work at WakeMed. So I also have a private practice. So I am, for my private practice, like if you feel like you don't want to go through your insurance, or for some people who have like a large deductible that they don't want to go through insurance, then I can see them. I'm also licensed with Blue Cross Blue Shield. So with my private practice, I take Blue Cross. And for all other insurances such as Cigna, Aetna, anything else, or even Blue Cross, you can, or if you have Medicare, then you can see me at WakeMed. All right. So that's about it. I'm going to stop my sharing so we can take questions.
Thank you, Parul Bain. This was a great, presentation which holistically brought together diet, exercise, sleep, stress, everything. So yeah, thanks a lot. And I'm going to request the song to, ask any questions at this point.
Right. So I'm looking at the chat and not seeing a whole bunch of questions there. So if anybody wants to unmute them, and ask questions, feel free. Yeah.
Arvind, this is Meenal here. I have a question.
Sure.
Can you talk a little bit about the fasting, right? Because in Jainism, we focus on fasting and restricting our diet to Vaishnu, Vikasnu, Ambel.
Right.
Ambel is no food, right? So how does that impact the gut bacteria? Because it seems like we should be eating all kinds of diverse food, but if you're doing Attai, that's like 7 days fasting, then what happens to the bacteria then? And what about the vegan diet when we are not eating yogurt and the dairy food, right? So
right.
Thank you.
So let me start with the vegan part because it's a short shorter explanation. So yes, you can become completely vegan, but there are a lot of vegan yogurts available, right? So it's not like the yogurt has to be made with dairy milk. You can, there are yogurts available with almond milk, or soy milk, coconut milk. All the milks can be converted into yogurt. So if it's just a question about yogurt, then yeah, you can definitely. There is so much more research coming out about animal proteins increasing risk of cancer and inflammation, that if you can, if not completely become vegan, at least limit the amount of dairy foods you eat, then that would really help. Okay. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the almond milk yogurt or soy milk yogurt, do they have the same type of bacteria, or
Yes,
the bacteria?
yes, they have the same type. The bacteria is the same. The only difference is in nutrients. So for example, for example, like soy milk is very similar to regular dairy milk. It has the same amount of protein and same amount of everything. Almond milk, coconut milk, they don't have as much protein as regular milk. But again, if you are getting your protein from other sources, then milk is not the only source of protein, right? So that's not really a big deal. But yeah, the probiotic bacteria are the same. Yeah, they are the same in all the yogurts. Yeah. So coming back to the fasting part. So again, there is a lot of research showing that yes, when you fast, it actually gives your body that rest it needs, so that it actually makes your microbiome much stronger, because it gives your body the time to kind of weed out all the unhealthy bacteria, right? So fasting is actually very beneficial. However, like I said, it has to be done. That routine of the body is very important, right? So when you do atthai once a year, that's perfect, because you are doing that once a year, right? Or if you fast, let's say you decide that, okay, every Thursday you are going to fast, then that's fine. But that establishing that routine is very important. So not eating or skipping a meal is not the same as fasting, right? So like, okay, today I don't want to eat, or I missed lunch today. That is not fasting. Whether you are eating or whether you are fasting, it has to be done with a purpose, and it has to be done on a schedule. Okay, so yeah, atthai, when you do it, it's perfectly fine. Or when some people do, let's say, varshitap. So that is also a routine. There is an established routine of when you are eating and which day of the week you are fasting. Or some people do alternate days, right? You eat for 24 hours and then you don't eat for 20. So whatever it is, like, there is an established routine. When you follow the routine, you'll be fine. But when things are done just completely randomly, that is when it is not good. Okay.
Thank
A
you.
lot of people these days are doing what is called intermittent fasting. That means that you eat within an 8-hour period and you don't eat for the remaining 16. That's fine too, but again, there has to be a routine. So my favorite way of, if I'm guiding somebody for intermittent fasting, my favorite 8-hour period to eat is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, so you start your day with a lunch, an early lunch at 11, and then in the afternoon you might have a snack, and then you eat your dinner by 7. Okay, so like I said, whether you are doing any kind of like your upvas from the religion perspective, or whether you are just doing doing it from any other kind of like a mindfulness, but like I said, it has to be done with a purpose, and it has to be done with a routine, not just randomly. Not just in a random way. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, a quick one. This is Mayur. Thank you very much for a very insightful presentation, as always.
Sure.
So many of us have been vegan for many, many years now. This is a very general question. Is there anything that we should be more careful about in terms of adding a type of food in our diet, or removing a food from our diet, having grown up as a vegetarian and milk was an integral part for a very long time? Yeah, thank you.
Right. Yeah. So so you can be vegan and yet get all the nutrients that you need, as long as you are eating a wide variety of the different foods that we talked about. The only two things that I mentioned, to add to a vegan diet is that if you are strictly vegan, then we need to add vitamin B12. So I generally recommend just taking like a general B complex. Not because vegan diets are lacking in B12. So it's not that animal foods have B12. But so B12 is generally present in the soil and in the grasses that grow. So when cows eat that grass, the cows' stomachs, process that B12, and then it is available to the, so when when people eat the animal foods, they are getting it. So the animal acts as a as that mid
secondary source.
as a secondary
Right.
source, exactly.
Correct.
Like the middleman, basically.
Correct.
So when because as vegans, we don't eat grass, we don't eat some of those foods directly.
Sure.
So that's why we need a supplement in form of B12. And the second thing is vitamin D, which is whether you are vegan or not, we all are low in vitamin D. So those are the two supplements that I recommend taking on a regular basis.
So
B12
those are the two that we take. So thank you very much.
Then you don't need to worry about it.
Confirmation.
Yes,
Thank you.
perfect. All right. I see one question in the chat. Do teen kids need protein supplement? No, nobody needs a protein supplement. Even if you are an athlete, if you eat a diverse diet, then you will need everything that you need. I will point you to a wonderful resource. There is a blog or a website called No Meat Athlete. Okay, so look at that website. It's run by this guy called Matt Fraser. He's not Indian, he's an American guy, but he's from North Carolina. He's based in Asheville. So he has this website for athletes who are vegan. So that is No Meat Athlete. I will just write that name in the chat. No Meat Athlete. And actually, he and along with another guy, they just came out with a new book. It's brand new. Actually, it's called The Plant-Based Athlete. So that book is available through Amazon or Barnes & Noble, wherever you want to get it. If you are truly into sports and if you are, if you are into, group sports like football or lacrosse or whatever, then I would highly encourage you to look into that book. It's called The Plant-Based Athlete. Another wonderful resource is if you want to look at this documentary, it's on Netflix. It's called The Game Changers. So look at that documentary. It's all about professional athletes and how this whole system culture is about, okay, if you are an athlete, you have to get more protein. So you can look at that, that documentary. And then the third, especially for vegetarian teens, I will point you to this website called Vegetarian Nutrition. So the Vegetarian Nutrition website is actually www.vndpg.org. So if you go on their website, there is a tab called Resources. And if you go to those resources, there are PDF handouts. You can download, you can print, but there are resources for every stage of life. So there is vegetarian infants, vegetarian and vegan infants, school-age children, teens, all of those are available. So, so these are the 3 different resources that you can look for. There is also another group called Vegetarian Resource Group, that is vrg.org, I think. But that is also a really good resource for any kind of nutrition information for vegetarians and vegans. All right. I'm seeing another chat. Seaweed nori. Yeah, nori is a great source for B12. Also, nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is also a really good source of B12. So that works. You can make your homemade kind of like a Parmesan, from the nutritional yeast. Cane sugar can replace by, I'm assuming you're talking about gall. Well, one thing to remember is that, especially if you have diabetes or if you are trying to lose weight, sugar is sugar. Okay. So yes, definitely the raw sugar, the cane sugar, or the turbinado sugar, these are definitely better because they have not undergone the chemical processes that the traditional white sugar goes through. So definitely the raw sugar is definitely better that way. But as far as the sugar is concerned, any type of sugar, When it goes into the body, it's processed exactly the same way. So it is not that if you have diabetes and instead of khand ne bole tame gol nahi cha banao, so it doesn't work that way. You know, whether it is khand, gol, mud, any kind of sugar, when it goes into the body, it's processed as exactly the same sugar. Okay, so the best thing to do is, I see a comment. Yeah, exactly. If you have diabetes or if you're trying to lose weight, just avoid sugar. Just drink plain cha without any sugar. Okay, so so you cannot replace the white sugar with gur or mud if you have diabetes. It won't work. Yeah. All right. All right.
Thank you,
Any
Parul. Yeah, maybe we can take one more question.
Yeah,
We
just
can
last
need
question
to-
in the interest of time. Yeah. Any last minute thoughts? Okay. Well, if you need any, like I said, personal, individual, if you have any kind of complicated issues and if you want any personal consult, let me know. But otherwise, I can email you guys a kind of like a PDF of this PowerPoint if you want to share. Then what foods you prefer for teens? The same foods, the same foods. I mean, there is nothing separate that teens need to eat, you know. Yeah, there are unfortunately no foods that will increase your height. For height, you just need exercise, and your height is based on your genes, your genetic makeup. There is nothing much we can do. So some kids will grow, you know, their weight will grow before their height. Some kids, their height will grow before they catch up with their weight. So yeah, there is nothing much we can do. Unfortunately, your height is what you are born with. You can try, you know, exercise and see if that makes a difference. But yeah, unfortunately, there is not much we can do for height. But yeah, just healthy eating. Whatever foods are recommended for adults, the same foods are recommended for kids as well. So the one thing that I will definitely strongly recommend, especially for those of you who have younger kids, please don't become a short order cook. Please don't think that, okay, the kids need to eat something separate than what the adults need. Everybody should be eating the same thing. And for the kids who are watching, you need to eat what your parents are eating. Not the parents should not be eating what the kids are eating. The kids should be eating what the parents are eating. All right. No, soy milk is perfectly healthy for everybody. In fact, a lot of new research. If you go to that vegetarian nutrition website, the vndpg.org, there is a wonderful handout on the health effects of soy, the beneficial health effects of soy. So if you have any questions about soy, go to that website, download that handout, and it'll give you a lot of details. Yeah, soy foods such as soy milk and tofu has been proven to actually prevent cancers, especially breast cancer. So young girls, if you start eating soy on a regular basis, it'll actually prevent breast cancer in the future. Okay. There is no proportion. there is no such thing as junk food. Food is food, you know, and junk is junk.
Parul, I know the kids have a lot of questions because they get different messages from the school and their
Yeah.
friends and all that, and being vegetarians. I know.
I mean, what we can do is we can do a separate session for kids if there are so many kids questions. But I know in the interest of time, in the interest of time, I will end here. But yeah, I mean, we can do a separate session for kids if you want.
I think, we'll have to think about it through the Pachala, maybe something in the future. But Parul, thanks again for your time.
Yeah.
This has been very helpful to, you know, all of us to get this holistic view of not just diet, but also exercise, sleep, stress, everything. So thanks again from the Jscnc community to you, and we certainly look forward to, you know, talking with you and engaging you in the future. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye. I need to drop off, but yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the next segment. Quick update on the Jscnc COVID-19 Relief Fund. So we reached out to the community in May with the goal of raising $7,000 to help with the COVID relief efforts in India. and we were pleasantly surprised because we ended up raising over $20,000 from the community towards this effort. So thanks a lot to the community for your generous contribution and support. As we pointed out in the email and the communication, the proceeds have already been sent to the 3 organizations that were identified, which is Virayatan, Jaina, and Seva International. We've also received, thanks from all these 3 institutions. I'll read a small excerpt from the message we got from Seva. They want to give us their sincere thanks for raising funds for the COVID relief operations in India. And because of the contributions we made, they were able to procure and distribute relief supplies. So thanks again to the community. I'm going to turn it over to Mayur Bhai to provide an update on Virayatan. Over to you, Mayur Bhai.
Thank you very much, Ketan Bhai, Jai Jinendra, everyone. And first of all, a huge shout out to the entire community. As Ketan mentioned, this was way more than expected. And that really tells us how generous our community is and how fortunate we all are. So there is a video in a moment here that Ketan will put up, and you all can see that video, but very, very briefly, in 3 separate places in Bihar, Kutch, and in Ahmedabad, in all 3 places, over the last year on a consistent basis, Virayatan volunteers have provided food to the needy people, particularly those who lost their income. They were given 1 month ration at a time, both in Bihar and in Kutch. And the video that you will see will provide you a quick snapshot of prepared food that were given to families that were in quarantine after 1 or more members of the family were stricken with this deadly disease. So I'll just turn it back over to Ketan Bhai, and again, sincere thank you to the whole community from Virayatan as an institution. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to share the video and start it in a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So again, thanks to the community for your generous support. And now we'll move on to the most important segment, the presentation by the Pathshala kids for the Father's Day celebration. So over to you, Purvi Ben, for the Father's Day celebration by the Pathshala kids.
Thank you, Ketan Bhai. And thank you for other speakers. That was very well done. And happy Father's Day to all the dads here. And I hope you all are enjoying your day so far. And your kids have worked hard on preparing their presentation for their dad. So first up is Marmi Jera. So I will go ahead and share.
So my dad is Rajan Chida and I am Marmi Chida and this is my presentation. Dad, you are awesome. Hey Dad, that's a tall, awesome, smart, amazing, funny man in front of the computer. I want to say something to you. Like I said, you're tall, awesome, smart, amazing, funny adult man. You work, help us study, keep us safe. You're funny, you spend lots of time with us, and when I'm around you, it makes me feel safe. I love you, Dad. I was on the knee. Dad, why is that book you're reading so thick? It's a long story. Dad, will you put my hair in a bun? What did the baby say last time? You can click. Just click. Where's popcorn? These are some pictures I've made when I was young, being funny. And then my dad is always being funny, being silly, and he was always sharing it. Remember that? Yes. What? A girl's first true love is her father. A father's tears and fears are unseen. His love is unexpressed, but his care and protection remains as a pillar of strength throughout our lives. Everyone can be a father, but it takes a lot to be a dad. See ya. Hey Dad, thanks for having a peek. Hope you enjoyed. See ya. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. And now next up is your brother, maybe.
Purvi, can you be a little louder? We can't hear you clearly.
Okay, sure. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I'm having some issues with I had neighbor presentation open and now it's not.
Hey Purvi, sorry, but we are still not able to hear you. So the voice is pretty loud.
I'm having some computer issue and Nable's presentation was open, but now it's not working. So while you're waiting for me, can Dion Gandhi go next, please?
No, okay, I'm doing it.
Can Neville share his presentation?
Yeah, he can share his presentation. Go ahead.
Neville, it's open in the browser already, I told.
Okay, so this is my Father's Day project. Well, not project, what? So first, all I want to say is Happy Father's Day. Okay, so my dad is friendly, amazing. He's a teacher, he's a helper, he's encouraging, and he's restless. My dad is the best dad in the world. You can never ask for a better dad. He's friendly because he's nice to everyone and makes them smile. Papa does this every day. He's amazing because he always makes people feel good, like how I just said above. He treats everyone with respect, works very hard on whatever he's doing, and he's always there for you when you need him. Papa has taught me many things like math, how to talk, how to do things in life, and many more random facts I've asked him about in the past. He's a huge helper too. The helper also links into how he is a teacher. He has always helped me with a math problem I did not understand or not know how to solve or anything like that. Also, since this last school year was very different for everyone, he helped me if I had technical difficulties like lots of lag. Papa also always encourages me to do my best and give 100% effort into whatever I am doing. You will hardly ever see him rest. He'll clean the house for an hour even after going on a 6-mile bike ride. I really love my dad, and I hope that we all have a great future ahead of us. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Nina. Is this better? Can everyone hear me better now?
It's a little better, Purvi. Definitely, this is better than previously.
Okay, thank you. And now next up is Dion Gandhi.
I made this book for my father. And then it said, thank you for doing experiments with me. Why did you buy so many toys for me? So let's donate them. Love you from your darlings. Dear Dad, thank you for getting library books for me. Thank you for reading books with me. Thank you for teaching me how to ride my hoverboard. Thank you for teaching me how to ride a bike. Bye.
Very good job. And where's your dad? Who is your dad?
Hi.
Oh, okay, yeah, very good job, Jan. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Next we have Mahar Ruha and Ishankuru. Are you going to say together or separate?
Okay, see.
Hello, my name is Mohar. My dad's name is Ketan Kurua. He is brave. He helps me try new things. He sleeps with me. He takes me to my classes. He carries me on his shoulder when we go hiking. He lets me go to play at my friend's house. He plays chess with me. He helps me make new friends.
Very good. Ishan Kurua.
Hi, my name is Ishan Kurua. My dad's name is Kason. The Power of a Dad in a Child's Life is Unmatched by Justin Rickless. I like this quote because it shows how much power a dad really has. When I started learning to solve the Rubik's Cube, my dad encouraged me by buying more cubes for me. When I was learning to swim, he always helped me to learn new things like diving. Another thing is my dad really likes outdoor activities. He encourages me to go outside. Taekwondo and carries me to taekwondo practice and swim practice. He also wants me to learn new things. He plans fun vacations and researches fun places for our family to go. Finally, he spends time with me and makes me a better person each day. Happy Father's Day to all dads.
Thank you, Ishan and Mahar. Very good job. Next is Mona Safi.
Go ahead, Mona.
Hi, my name's Mona, and this is my dad. His name is Bobbin Safi, and what should I say, Mama?
Show
He's the coolest dad.
Show the card that you made.
He's the coolest dad.
What do you like the most about him?
You love him.
I like him because he teaches me how to burp.
Good job, good job.
Thank you.
Would you like to read the card that you made for him?
All right. Do you want me to read the card for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the information is not correct. But...
Okay. All About My Dad by Mona. My dad is dash number of years old. My dad's favorite color is purple. My dad's job is Google. My dad's favorite food is
Spicy cheese.
something my dad loves to do is
To burp me.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy.
And say, Dad, you are.
I already.
You already said that. Okay, thank you.
Good job. And next up are my kids, Adi, Ishan, and Ivan. Guys, turn on your camera.
Hi. We're Ishan, Ivan, and Adi, and we wrote this. This is our dad, Caitlin's shop, and we wrote a poem for him. We did it together. Okay.
Big love.
Father's Day poem. Dad, we are thankful to have you as a dad. You make us happy when we're sad. You shine bright like the sun. You're so fun. You give us inspiration. You give us motivation. You give us demonstrations of how to do well. You give us silly nicknames to make us smile. With no pain, you inspire. Playing sports and games with us, making it fun. This just proves that without you, we would be lost. So in conclusion, you are the best dad ever.
Yay, thank you, guys.
We also drew a picture. Here. We also drew this picture. The trophy. Thank you. Thanks.
Good job, guys. Next we have Arvi Deliva.
Hi, my name is Arvi Deliwala. My dad's name is Vicky Deliwala.
Want to sing a song?
Yeah. चंदा ने पूछा तारों से, तारों ने पूछा हजारों से, सबसे प्यारा कौन है? पापा, मेरे पापा.
Now you want to show the gift? Tell them that you have made a gift. Tell.
I made the gift.
Okay, show. Okay, you want to read that? Okay, show. Okay, now you want to read it?
Yeah.
Loudly.
Things I like about you. You make me laugh. You love me. You play with me. You help me. You care for me. You hug me. I love Daddy. You are my superhero. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Hug. Okay.
Next is Ayan Salo.
All right. It's good. No.
Adam, you can start. Okay. I have a presentation to share.
Okay, go ahead.
1 second. Okay. So I created a Google Docs for him. So can you guys guess what this emoji is representing? Papa, can you guess it?
I love my dad.
Yep.
I love you, Dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's pointing to the dad. So dad is pretty much my role model. And this presentation is by R. Slot, which is me, for him. And I just insisted to put his name on. So, Dad, thank you for all the happiness that I got from you, the answers that you helped me to get, the presents that you email Santa, the patience that got me far in life, the years that you spent after me, 12 and counting.
You're unmuted.
The freedom that I have, the attributes that anyone says I'm like you, the teachings that I learned from you, the hope that you put into my success, the earnings that got all my toys, the reliability that I could have on you, the scolds that I now realize that made me a better kid, the daring that may have saved my life, the awesome times we spent together, and the yes Arabs that let me do things. And these are a couple of pictures of my dad and I, and this has Ayan in it too. I love you, Dad.
Love you too.
Great job, Mara. And I am
Come on, Ayan. Come on, Ayan. Sing.
હું તારા માટે કઈ ગાઉં?
Nah.
કે તું મારા માટે કઈ
Sing.
ગાઉં?
Ayan, sing. Come on. Chandani. Come on.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
मैंने पूछा तारों से, उन्होंने पूछा तारों से सबसे प्यारा कौन है? बाबा, बाबा, अरे बाबा.
Oh my God.
okay. Very good job.
Good job.
Okay, now is next is Prisha Rakesha.
My name is Prisha Rakecha. I'm Vihan Rakecha, and this is my dad, Prakash Rakecha. So I wrote a paragraph for my dad in the poem. The world, you are a dad. To the family, you are the world. That's one quote. The next quote is, fathers are the bright, shiny example and the happy twinkling in my heart. And this is something that I wrote. My dad is smart, funny, and plays with me a lot. He answers my questions and teaches me the technique in cricket. He's the greatest dad of all time. And then I also made this picture.
It's hard to see the picture, but good job. Okay.
What I so you're the best dad. And so you fix what is broken. You discover new things. You bicycle with your family. You play games and go to the grocer.
Good job, Prisha and Vihan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that is the list of Ashra students that I had who wanted to project something for their dad. Is there anyone else that wants to share anything about their dad, both young ones or old ones, adults, anybody can share anything? Yes. That concludes our Father's Day presentation for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Purvi. I just want to reiterate what Purvi said. Is there anyone else from the adults who wants to talk about their dads? Right. We're at the end of the session. Arti Ben, if we can do Votsagram. I don't see Artiben, are you there?
I don't think Aarti auntie is here.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Aarti auntie, if you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Jai Janendra to all of you and happy Father's Day to everybody. So please join with me with Sagram. ભાવથી બધા જોઈન્ટ થજો. સંભળાય છે ને બરાબર? उपसत्यहरं पासं वन्दामि कमघणमोक्कम् विसहर विसनिन्नासम् मङ्गल कल्याण आवासम् विसहर फुल्लिङ्गमन्तम् कण्ठे धारे जोषयामणुओ तस्सगहरोग मारे दुष्टजरा जन्ते उवसामं चिट्ठ उदूरे मन्तो तुच्छ प्रणामो विबहु फलो होई नरतिरियेषु विजिवा पावन्ति न दुःखदो गच्छम् तुह सम्मते लत्थे चिन्तामणि कप्पपायवपहिये पावन्ति अविज्ञेणम् जीवा अयरा मरं ठाणम् यसन्तु महायस भक्ति भर निबरण विहेण तादेव दिज्ज बोहिं भवे भवे पास जिण चंद भवे भवे पास जिण चंद. Thank you and Jai Janendra.
Thank you, Artiben. And that takes us to the end of the meeting. Thank you everyone for joining. And Arshadbhai Jai Bolavi.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Janendra.
Happy Father's Day.
Bolo
Thank you.
Jine Shasana. Dev
Jai.
Goodbye.
Memoriam Tanam.